Hey guys, welcome, Streaming Sunday for April 28th today. First of all, I think we have a few more people on the stream, which is always a good sign, as well as a bunch more followers on YouTube. So welcome to everybody who obviously is new to the group, or at least new to Streaming Sundays and what we're doing for a lot of the video stuff. So thank you for that. A couple things before we begin. Just wanted to give you guys a heads up. Something really, really big happened this week for us. The group, HTML Toronto group, finally broke 1,500 members. I believe last time I checked, we were at about 1,506 or 1,507, which is absolutely phenomenal. I've mentioned previously in, I believe, the newsletter this past week, as well as on Twitter a few times, that if we ended up breaking 1,500, well, I guess not if, but rather when, that I was going to see if we can do something really, really special. I'm going to hold to that. We've got a few things in mind that are potentially good for the group, giveaways, some big prizes, all coming up this month during the event and throughout the whole month. So you should be able to see something almost every week this month just because we hit 1,500. It's a great milestone. The next one we have, or the next milestone that I'm going to set for us, is going to be 2,500 or 5,000. If you have a suggestion which one, either or, please give a comment down below or send us a tweet at html5_Toronto. So after that big news, I figured we should just get started here. A few announcements before we do too much. As you can see from, I guess if you just joined us, we do have a new kind of fanciful, hey, pre-event type stream where we can do things like showcase our little topics on this side. And I'll see if I can actually, at the beginning of this, have those as links as well in YouTube, so you can jump to those sections, and obviously glorifying our sponsors because they are amazing. And just as an FYI, Owanda has actually come back for a second tier, which is amazing. Really big thank you to you guys. You guys helped us out, making sure that they were comfortable and they liked coming in as a sponsor. So to those of you who did say thank you to them on Twitter, on Facebook, through whatever means you did, I truly appreciate it. You did help out, and if you keep that up, I'm sure we're going to continue having them as a sponsor. Again, Kendo UI as well is back. Big thanks to them. And then the Microsoft team, the Web Not War team, did a really good job. And again, just like last week, gave a shout out to Fred Harper. A bunch of really cool blog posts, including HTML5 challenges, which aren't associated to the Web Not War, but if you do get a chance, go check it out. Out of My Control, I believe it is, out of comfortzone.net, his website. He's got a bunch of cool stuff. Go check it out. Although he's Microsoft, this is not to do with that. This is just my own personal thing saying, go check it out. He's doing some really cool things. Anyway, getting back to it, and obviously following a little bit of the agenda for today, because I'd like to make sure that we're still maintaining that 20-minute mark. Event recap. So last weekend, you'll notice that there wasn't really a streaming Sunday. This is because we streamed pretty much the whole weekend anyway. Starting on Friday night, we did the NASA Space Apps Challenge, which for anybody who couldn't make it to that or hadn't been able to, luckily enough, we as a group had come along and we ended up doing live streaming of the whole introduction to this, as well as the presentations at the end. So the beginning of this and the middle of this, we're not ending up posting online. However, if you go to our YouTube account, youtube.com/html5Toronto, you're going to see that we do have all of the presentations all recorded and all up here in order. These are also embedded onto the NASA Space Apps Challenge, or the Toronto Space Apps Challenge website, to see who the winners are. So go take a look, go watch them, let me know who your favorite one is. There's a lot of good ideas, and some of these presentations, I'm telling you, I'm sitting there, we're recording the stuff, I'm doing the swapping cameras, and my jaw's just dropping, because there are some really, really smart people. Triliteration of the angle of the Earth to determine where the geolocation of of the Aurora Borealis was in certain areas. So they were actually determining the gravity of the Earth and how it was affecting. Go check it out. Just like, I feel so stupid when I see people like that, because it's just, they're brilliant, absolutely brilliant. So outstanding stuff. Go take a look at it. After that, directly after it, was FITC Toronto, which was unbelievable this year. Some really good speakers that came in, and a big announcement that happened just before there. We do have a brand new FITC Spotlight event that's coming up in June. And the reason I mention this is because a little bit later, just after the next topic, it does affect one of the things. So there is a Spotlight hardware. Keep an eye out for it. Looks awesome too. But FITC this year was amazing. Thank you to everybody who came out. It was actually the first time I was recognized outside of doing the show and through the group. Was, hey, you do the HTML Toronto group and whatnot. So to those people, if they actually do watch this, thank you for that. It did mean a lot. Go take a look at some of the presentations and whatnot that they've posted for that online as well. Cool. So next topic of agenda, ISOC Canada. Now, for anybody who doesn't know what ISOC is, essentially it's the Internet Society of the world. Internet Society being ISOC, even though SOC is there. So ISOC Canada, which is at ISOC or ISOC Canada. Actually, I think I actually have that. I do not. So ISOC Canada essentially has just launched here. So they have a few places in Canada already, including Quebec. And this is probably one of the worst pictures they have because it's stretched, but he's fixing that. They've launched. I'm going to suggest go take a look at this website, internetsociety.ca. A lot of great tools, a lot of great resources. They're going to be streaming a lot of their events. But what this is, and this is where you're going to really want to pay attention to internet connectivity in Canada, proper usage, all of those different things. This organization is the one that talks with the CRTC, the Government of Canada. They're the ones that deal with open net neutrality and the regulations around that and Canada's response to that. They're looking for members in Canada to join the Canadian ISOC group because they want to be involved with the community. They want to be involved with developers, with users, with students, and they want to hear what your voices are. I'm dead serious. I had gone to the press conference that was the launch of ISOC, spoke with the president, spoke with the VP, spoke with IEEE, which is another big one. ICANN here in Canada, which is the people who you register the .cas with, saw them all there. They really want to get involved with the developer community. They really want to get involved with you particularly. Everybody who's watching this, everybody who watches this after the fact, they want you to respond. They want to have your opinion on things. So go join them up. Really, really good group. I highly recommend going to see what they're up to. Cool. Before I forget, there was something in the agenda that wasn't, well, there wasn't something in the agenda which I should have put in there. Thankfully, Lindsay Monroe had reminded me of this. I do have it in my schedule. But what it is Toronto's Mini Maker Faire. So Toronto's having a Mini Maker Faire here in the fall time. The exact date escapes me. It's September 13th, date and venue to be announced. But what they're doing is they're going to have an event coming up, or an event coming up on May 7th, which is a free-to-attend event that is kind of like a pre-kickoff launch party that you can sign up for and check it out. So there is tickets available. Just go to the website, minimakerfairetoronto.com, and you'll be able to go here, take a look, register for the event. You can do early signups for the fall event, but have fun at this. Go meet people. From what I understand, there's going to be 3D printers there, examples of 3D printed material, and things that people are making. So I cannot do this justice enough. This is the type of thing that is right up my alley personally. And quite frankly, I am quite ashamed that I did not know about this until they had came to me, or Lindsay had come to me, and one of the other organizers a couple days later had mentioned and briefed to me. So that is looking outstanding. Go take a look at the site. Go register for it. It's a free to attend event this Saturday. Saturday? What is the 7th is, sorry, next Tuesday, not this coming weekend, but next Tuesday is this free to attend event. Take a look. Mini Maker Faire Toronto. Fair with an E. So, next thing on the list is May event. So, as you may have known, we didn't have an event in April. We generally skip 2 months of the year, one being December and one being one of the summer months. But because there's been a lot of talk about having a summer month event, specifically either a barbecue or a couple of separate events, perhaps with Sencha Touch, if we can get somebody coming in that's professional with that, as well as there hasn't been a CSS3 or a CSS or a front-end talk in quite some time. So I'm going to see about putting one of those together, either with a local developer, local speaker, or see who's coming in the summertime, because I'd like to see if we can get some of those back. But in May, what we have coming down the line, I was approached by a gentleman from TVO this year, a couple of events ago, and he had brought up the conversation about how what they're putting together is one of the old games that they used to have for Flash. They're converting that into an HTML5 web game. So on top of that, I said, okay, that's pretty cool. I get that. That's pretty awesome. What's very interesting about this, however, is not only are they migrating it from Flash to HTML, but they're also making it so that it's Leap Motion enabled for control. Now, granted, it's a kid's game, so to make sure, I just want to give you guys a heads up. This here is the game that they're talking about. Let me just flip over here. The game can be found actually at tvokids.com/game/caterpillar. Go check it out. You're going to see that it's like a Flash little game here. It's Centipede, right? It's Centipede, but you can count, right? I'm going to collect. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, and I can crash into myself, just like Centipede you could as well. But the interesting thing is the fact that it's Leap Motion enabled. So for anybody who doesn't know what Leap Motion is a control device that allows you to have essentially gesture-based controls over your computer using a very, very fine precision in 3D space. Similar to the Kinect, except it's a lot more higher resolution of touch or higher resolution of gesture. So really, really interesting stuff. There's been a bunch of developers in Toronto that are using this and have been developers of this, and they've been testing this out. So Leap Motion is actually going to be launching in June. It was supposed to launch in May. In fact, it was supposed to launch technically the week before the event we are going to have is going to be, but there had been a delay because they want to do some more testing with it. So they've delayed into June, but we've got a handout or reached out to Leap Motion, the Leap Motion developer relations team. I actually have a phone call with them tomorrow afternoon before HackerNest Toronto to discuss with them if we can get support from them to say, hey, look, there's a Toronto event, a bunch of developers from Toronto are putting this together and having this hopefully hands-on, we'll see, experience with Leap Motion, how to develop for it, how to work with it for you guys. So we'll see how that works out. There's a couple ideas I have, and anybody who can read between the lines can probably read what I'm guessing at here or getting at. But that's what we have planned for May. As for the date's still kind of up in the air because I have to make sure that the people from the TVO are going to have the game functional for the demo, hopefully, but I don't want to be rushing them. That's the one thing I don't want to do. I don't want to be putting pressure on them. They're doing this out of the goodness of their own heart. They're bringing the stuff in, and I want to make sure that they're completely comfortable with us. So it's either going to be the 3rd or the 4th week of May, possibly the 5th. I think it's one of the long months. And whether or not it's on the Thursday or the weekend really depends on the type of response and reaction I get from Leap Motion. We might see if we can move this to a weekend and have it on a Saturday where we can go into Mars perhaps for the afternoon, reach out to a few other developers and have them come in as well to talk about their experiences and what they're building. So it's going to be one of those kind of big ones if I can make it into that. Any help, any type of thing where you know somebody who's developing it, have them contact me. Have them reach out to me. Strongly recommend we see if we can put something big together of all the Toronto developers that are working with the technology. Cool. So that was why I was talking about the Spotlight hardware earlier. I brought that up for FITC, was because the Leap Motion team is actually going to also be coming to FITC Spotlight hardware. They were at the NASA event. They're going to be at the FITC Spotlight event. We're going to be doing it. They're launching. It's just all Leap Motion all around over the next course of the little while here. Hopefully I can get my hands on one to play as well. I haven't even touched one yet, so I'm quite anxious for it. Last thing on our to-do list today, or last thing on our agenda that I wanted to bring up today, was something that has come up several times over the course of the last probably week to 2 weeks, which is a surprisingly short amount of time. I've got multiple emails, multiple tweets, requests on, or questions of, if there's a Toronto-based open device lab. So, did a bit of research, found out that no, there isn't an open public device lab that you can go to in Toronto. So, for anybody who doesn't know what a device lab is, essentially it's a location where you can go and test out a multitude of different devices. So, what's interesting is that you have things like, there we go. You have things like a wall of computers that are all set up, or a wall of cell phones that are all set up to be activated at a certain key from a computer. So you could put a website onto the laptop or the computer, the control device, and then what it would end up happening is that all of the devices themselves would end up displaying this page, right? This allows you to have all of the devices test your site or your application. So you can see what it looks like on different screen resolutions, how it handles in different browser dimensions, different aspect ratios, all these different things associated to it. It gives you the opportunity to test that in real life, rather than go through something like a software-based renderer or a web-based one like Adobe puts together, where it goes out to the cloud, takes a device, or it goes into a fake emulator for that, renders out the page, and then it returns you an image of that. This gives you the hands-on. You can go, you can touch it, you can feel it, you can act with it. Some of them have also been doing things like having multiple display dimensions for television screens, Kindle Fire, all the different types of technologies and devices that you can think of, or at least as many as they can get their hands on, either through donations or from hardware manufacturers themselves. It gives you the ability to go and control that and grasp that and try it out for yourself. So there wasn't one. There's none in Canada that I've been able to find, including if you go to, it's the OpenDeviceLab.com. There is a giant map of all the different device labs around the world, actually, because they're all interacting, they're all talking, discussion boards and whatnot. So this is interesting to me because Toronto, trying to bring up Toronto, as you guys know, to a very large international developer community. And there is none in Canada, like nowhere in Canada, which is beyond me. That's bizarre. Even the US only has several. There's not a lot. There's a lot less than what you think. So I figured, why not see about reaching out to find who'd be interested in this? So I've got a couple feelers out. I can't say who exactly on the corporate side, but I have reached out to a few people that have shown an interest, and they're doing a bit of research. Should be coming back to me this week about venue and space and location, and we'll see where that goes from there. But like I was telling you earlier with ISOC Canada, I had a nice long conversation with them as well about if they would support it, if they have interest in it, and they did as well. They said there would be an interest, but come back to them when there's more details, but they'd be interested in helping as well. I do know that some of the other developer groups are also interested in this. Ladies Learning Code has some of the devices in their office, if I'm not mistaken. Could have misread that tweet, but they do have a bunch of space that could be associated to this. I do know there's a few of the accelerators or accelerators do have some form of device center, but there's nothing like an open public lab they can go to. So what I need you to do is I need you to tweet out if you're interested in an open device lab by using HTML5_Toronto and the hashtag DeviceLabTO. All one word, DeviceLabTO. Yes, I'm interested, HTML5_Toronto. I'm going to collect all those tweets, and we're going to put something together for showing corporate sponsors, device manufacturers, venue locales, ISPs, all these different people, and we'll see if we can put Canada's first open device lab together as a community, right? As something that we can all use, all put together. We still have to figure out things like if there's a fee, if there's not a fee, do agencies and corporations, there's still a lot of logistics. However, a lot of these organizations have all been doing this for free. So let me know your interest, get back to me, send me a tweet, Facebook, whatever it is, let me know. Use all of those different platforms. Use the hashtag DeviceLabTO. Tell your friends, tell your developers, go broadcast this, and let's see if we can put something together. On that note, I think that's it for today. That was all the discussions that I wanted to get. Reminder, ISOC Canada. Check out the NASA Space Apps video presentations. The Mini Maker Faire Toronto. Oh, and before I forget, don't forget to join the newsletter for Mini Maker Faire and HTML Toronto. Because we're going to be announcing a bunch of stuff, and in regards to the prizes this month as well for the 1,500 members, likely some of the prizes will be per social media outlet or per connectivity. So if you're only a part of the Twitter followers, the Facebook followers, go also to the newsletter, because I'm likely going to be doing a giveaway for all the people that follow the newsletter, or a couple people following the newsletter as well. The more things you are part of, the more chances you have to win. Anyway, thanks a lot, and I will see you guys next time. Cheers.